climate change is undeniable. Climate warming affects all life on Earth, including this little creature, bees. Bees are very important animals that pollinate most of fruits, nuts, and seed crops. So if no bees, then no delicious food. These crop pollination services by bees are at risk due to climate warming. Here I introduce two potential risks that climate warming causes, called phenological shift and activity shift. First, climate warming can advance the flower bloom timing, which results in temporal mismatch between flower bloom and bee flight season. And second, climate warming can reduce bees' foraging activity because bees might have a threshold temperature for flight. Scientific evidence is increasing that shows each of these risks can reduce crop pollination services. But however, it is unclear how the activity and bloom shift, both risks, can affect crop pollination services. So I asked one question, which has climate warming led to shift in blueberry pollination services by honeybees, bumblebees, and wild bees, which is most important, three important pollinators. To answer this question, Charlie and Taylor visited Vermont blueberry fields for 3 years and recorded the temperature, a number of flowers, and number of bees visiting the flowers. Then I developed two separate models. One is phenology model, and the other one is activity model. Phenology model predicts flowers bloom bloom start date and bloom pattern and the stage, which can be early and peak and late bloom stages. And then activity model predicts bees foraging activity as a function of temperature. So here you can see that honeybees, a red line, has peaks on 22 Celsius degree, but bumblebee, blue line, is not sensitive to temperature, but wild bees, green line, has peaks at the higher temperature than honeybees. So we used phenology model and past climate data set. We predicted blueberry flower patterns. And then the first one, we found that bloom start date has been advanced by 8 days for the last 20 years. And then at the same time, the early and peak bloom, which is red line and green lines, has been decreased by 10 days and 5 days. And then while the late bloom period does not change it. And then finally, we found that in the early bloom period, honeybees and bumblebees, which is red and green lines, does not change over time. But surprisingly, wild bees, in recent years, their foraging activity has been increased. And then in the peak bloom and late bloom, there is no consistent changes in the foraging activity for different bees, but the wild bees always maintain their advantage. So what is the take-home message from here? It's three of take-home message I brought. Blueberry bloom is happening earlier, and then bloom period is decreasing. Bees respond differently to climate warming, and wild bees could help mitigate the risk of climate change on crop pollination. So what all means in a short, if you like to continue to enjoy delicious food, please conserve wild bees. Thank you.